Welcome to the kayak shop, Sandringham Harbour, and self-guided kayak hire. Today is the safety briefing. Sandringham Harbour is a great place to land and launch to head out into Port Phillip Bay to go exploring. Let's get into this now, team. So please rock up, ready to go paddling. Shoes, old runners, water shoes, protect your feet. Dress sun smart. On those hot days, it's all about sun protection and quick dry material. On the cooler and cold days, it's all about fleece. It stays warm when wet and it dries quickly. Now, on those warm or cold windy days, a light rain jacket or a paddling jacket protects you from the wind, keeping you nice and warm. Now, let's chuck on a PFD. So in Victorian waters, it's mandatory to wear a life jacket or a PFD whilst paddling. So, we will give you the correct size. First things first, open the buckle. Open the buckle. Open all of the buckles. Check it out, it's a friction buckle. If you change the amount of friction, buckle opens. Then you wear it just like a jacket. Now, don't forget, like everyone does, to clip up the bottom buckle. Buckle, buckle, buckle. Some PFDs might also have a zip. Once it's done, the first straps you do up is the shoulder straps. Do your shoulder straps. Do your shoulder straps. And then the next important one is the bottom, which actually sucks it in, and it should be nice and tight under your floating ribs. So if you do take a swim, the PFD doesn't rise up. And then just pull it in nice and firm. Now, breathing's important. So you don't want to be restricted with breathing, but it also can't be too loose. Make sure you test your PFD. If you fall out of your kayak, will you turn into a turtle? Will the PFD come up over your face? The PFD is on, personal flotation device, life jacket's on. Let's grab a paddle, let's head down to the beach. Welcome to the Sandringham Harbour. How good is it? Now, we do recommend that you undertake training from a Paddle Australia instructor so you can enjoy kayaking and you understand the inherent risks that are involved. All right, team, how do you hold your paddle? So, the key is, can you see a smiley face smiling back at you? Can you read the writing? You might need to do that, you might need to do that. Then, knuckles on top of the shaft. Knuckles in line with your paddle blade. Knuckles in line with your paddle blade. Place your paddle on your head. It's called the surrender position. You should have right angles at your elbows, right angles at your elbows. The power face, the smiley face, concave, should be parallel with the ground. So forward paddling, arms out straight and torso rotate. Torso rotate, torso rotate, torso rotate. You plant your paddle at the tip of your toe. Tip of your toe, and you torso rotate to your hip. You plant your paddle at the tip of your toe and you torso rotate to your hip. Tip to hip. Tip to hip. So now, how do we make our kayak spin on the spot? We do a reverse sweep on the side we want to turn. We do a forward sweep on the opposite side. We do a reverse sweep on the side we want to turn. We do a forward sweep on the opposite side. Sweep strokes. Your dry hand is low and near your belly button. Your wet arm is straight. You torso rotate. You place your paddle at the back of the kayak. You do a big arc to the front. Swap hands. Dry hand, belly button, wet arm, straight, torso rotation. A big arc. The bigger the arc, the more efficient the turn, and your kayak's going to spin on the spot. Your kayak should be around where the trailer is. Drag your kayak down to the water's edge. Let's go, team. Turn into the wind. Bum in first. Every movement is slow and deliberate. Swing your legs around. 120-degree bend at your knees. Make sure you're holding your paddle correctly. Smiley face smiling back at you, knuckles on top in line with your paddle blade. Right angles at elbows, and smiley face, power face parallel with the water. Let's go paddling, team. So for water sport activities, it's highly recommended that you're comfortable in the water and you can swim 50 to 100 meters, because one day you might capsize. Whew. Float in your PFD. Maintain contact with your paddle and your kayak. Whew. Flip your kayak over. Stay in contact with your kayak. Put your nose just in front of the seat. Come up to the kayak, float your legs behind you and swim up over the kayak. Into the safety position. Your belly button is in the middle of the kayak. Your torso is out of the water. In the perfect world, you would be floating towards the beach. You wouldn't be drifting offshore, you'd be drifting onshore. And then you roll your bum slowly to the seat like so, and you spin your legs around. Boom! Before you head out, we recommend that you undertake training with a paddle illustrator instructor to understand the inherent dangers and risks, as well as to make it the most enjoyable experience you possibly can. Sit-on tops recreational kayaks are generally very stable, good primary stability. We recommend that you have your schnoz, atlas, coccyx, all vertical, and then you should stay in the boat. You could still capsize. Now, be aware of the wind. Always paddle into the wind and come back. However, be aware of the wind. Is it increasing, decreasing, changing directions? If the wind is pushing you offshore, that's an offshore wind, and that can get very emotional. If the wind's blowing you onto the beach, that's an onshore wind, and that's pretty safe, unless it blows you into a surf zone or onto rocks. They are both dangerous places to be. Make sure you avoid them. Now, give way to anything bigger than you. It's a Darwinism thing. Paddle on the right side of a channel, cross on a right angle. If it gets a little bit too emotional, aim off to the nearest beach, drag the kayak up to the dry sand and wander back with as much stuff as you can. We call it the walk of shame. We won't be impressed, but if you have to do it, you have to do it. Self-guided kayak hire team, you're on your own. Head out and enjoy Port Phillip Bay.